Okay, so this is pretty simple. Also, sorry for the sound. I have a fan running, but very simple. So you're just gonna have your AO bake. And what I like to do is actually select all of it and then copy it. And I'm gonna make a new file really quick. Did not mean to click open. New file really quickly. Because sometimes my files, like the color profiles, mess up and sometimes it's too dark or too light. And also this gives me 2 layers. So what you want to do is make sure you don't have any background layer, so there's nothing behind it. And then what you do is you do Control I, and that's going to inverse the colors. And then you're going to select all, which is Control A for me, and then Control C to copy. And then you're going to Control I again and put it back. So pretty much you just inverted the colors and then grabbed a copy of it and then reverted it back to the original. Then you're going to go down here to the Masks tool and you're going to click Alt and then on the physical mask square, and it's going to bring you to a blank image. Control V is pasting this guy into that. So now you can see in the mask layer this image has been put there. You can go in and draw just like normal and it'll pop up and you'll see up here in the preview is what it'll look like. So right now all we only have is the black and there is no white. And then if I click on the actual little layer square, it gives me back this. Now as you can see, especially if I zoom in, there is some graininess. So what I like to do is either you can leave it with the mask on. What I actually like to do is make a new layer on top and then hit shift and click on the bottom layer, which is the actual shadow, and then I hit Control J, that's the wrong one, Control E, which is going to squish them together and it's going to remove that mask layer and just apply it. And then I click here and I go to, this is the little styles, adding it to your layer, and I go to color overlay and I add black, so it's 100% black no matter what. As you can see, there's still a little bit of graininess, so sometimes I do Control J and make a copy of it, and then I merge these two together, and that's really nice and dandy. And then just before I do anything else, I want to check to make sure this is nice and clean, and as you can see, it's not as clean as I would like it to be. So I just make a new layer under it with white or whatever. Actually, I'm going to invert this really quickly just so I can, just so I can see exactly what's happening. Gonna grab an eraser here, make it super soft, and then I'm just gonna make sure all of these edges are good. And yeah, from here you can just mess with it however you want. I'm going to inverse it back to black, inverse this back to white. And so what I like to do sometimes is mess around with blur. I do box blur for this. So right now it's 1 pixel. I'm actually going to up it to, about 3. And then I'm going to go in and just kind of lightly, in the areas that I feel could use it a little bit, I'm going to go in and do that. And so that is the actual shadow done. Now to save it, all you do is you can just hide this white layer. As you can see now, it does have a little bit of breaking, so you can always go back into color overlay and black. And you can always do a new layer if you need. I think this banding and breaking is probably from the layer profile or like the color profile, but it doesn't really matter because this dark part won't show on mine. But then you just go and save as, and save it as a PNG file, and moon shadow, whatever. And then there it goes. So it's pretty simple.